What's good, everybody? Let me make sure they can hear me on here. Hold on. What's good, everybody? Let me make sure they can hear me. Yep, we're good to go. So, what's good, everybody? It's Big Game James. I'm here back in the building, man. And I got my dog, radio guy Ray. What's up with you, big dog?
Hey man, I'm ready to talk it up, man. Big Cowboys win this weekend. Man, it's a great Monday to be alive.
He said it's a great Monday to be alive. I feel you, dog, because
Yeah.
it seems like it's been some uncharted territory that's been going on here with these Cowboys. I mean, yeah, we saw it in 2016. We saw the run that went with Jason Garrett. We saw in 2014 the run that they had as well. But this is a little different. I would say close to 2014, but this is a little bit different that's going on right here. Just give me in a nutshell why everybody keeps coming on in the building, keep on coming in the building. Marcus Bell, Roman, John Jones, Marcus Anthony, keep on coming in the building. Just give me your initial thoughts of this crazy game that happened yesterday afternoon.
Well, I tell you what, man. I think first and foremost, man, it was too close for comfort. And anytime you have a game like that, man, it brings everybody together. Everybody's watching intently. I was of the mindset the Cowboys were a better team, but because of the whole Bill Belichick factor and being up there, I just felt like the game was going to be a little tighter than what we wanted it to be, and of course it was. But man, you might have been on to some big game. These guys might have finally saw the corner and turned the corner, man. They made that turn, and these guys might be headed in the right direction, man. They showed me a lot of heart and moxie and courage and determination last night. And that was huge. That was absolutely huge.
Yeah, man, it was huge. Like I said, I feel like this team. Well, you saw me posted on Twitter, and I was just like, okay, if the Cowboys can pull this out, okay. First of all, just look at a lot of the negatives that happened. Cedric Wilson had a touchdown he dropped, but he came back big time and made up for that. There was the interception that could have been a touchdown to take the Cowboys right down the field. Dak underthrew Cedric a little bit, so you had the turnover right there. Then you had the touchdown that was not called the touchdown because of I don't know what happened. I was like, why don't you review that? But it was going to be suspect because you couldn't see anything, and I don't feel like them refs would have been on Dallas's team. And then you had Dak going over the top, and in my head I was like, just hold on to the ball because if anything happens with you fumbling, they're not going to give it to us. I was saying that live right when it was happening, and he fumbled, and I was just like, okay, this is just might be one of them games. Penalties, sloppiness. Had like 5 penalties in like the first quarter. Ended up with, I believe, let me get if I'm straight, 12 penalties as a whole. One of our highest penalty games. Really sloppy game in the early parts of it. You saw Belichick. I mean, in the first almost to the third quarter, Mac Jones had not missed a pass yet. And they hadn't had crazy yards. He only had like 8 pass attempts. They had like 9 rushing attempts, like going into like the third quarter, and they were up. You know what I mean? They had 14 points. So I felt like, man, is this going to be one of them games where no matter what we do, it just ain't going to matter. You're just going to lose this game. But dog, like I said, this may be turning the corner because so many times we've seen this team falter. So many times we've seen this team fail. So many times we've seen this team come up short and lose these games. Fluke plays like was happening yesterday. Penalties, 3rd and 25s. We lose those games. You feel me? We don't complete those passes. We don't get a 24-yard pass to CD Lamb and then kick a 49-yard field goal to put it in overtime. That don't happen to Dallas. You feel me?
Right.
We don't get a 4th and 4 driving and then Dak Prescott he's all in the trash and he throws a crazy laser to Cedric Wilson who stretches out and gets the first down. We don't get them. You feel me? Yeah. We don't get them, and they're going our way now. It seems, and that's why I feel like maybe it has changed to turn the corner.
Yeah. You know what, man? We've talked about it before, and I maintain this. Big game, it's a culture thing, man. It's a culture thing. I'm telling you, the Cowboys, it's a whole new set of guys in that locker room. You have certain pieces, but you have a new moxie, man. You have guys who are in there, and as I say all the time, they have that dog mentality. These guys do not like to lose. CD Lamb comes from a winning program. Dak Prescott, when he was in Mississippi State, or at least the year that he made a name for himself, that was a winning program. Michael Parsons, those guys are winners, man. These guys want to come in and win. Diggs comes from Alabama. All they do down there is win. You have guys in a place of leadership, and the guys who are playing well for you are winners, and they want to let that infiltrate that locker room, man. And you gotten rid of all these guys who were just there for a name. You have guys who want to win and play, and that's what's taking over this locker room, and it's contagious.
It's definitely contagious. And shout out to everybody getting in the building. Shout out to you, Prince Jackson, Jay Lombardi. What's up with you, dog? A lot of good stuff coming up. Come on in here. Hit that like button as well, because it don't cost you no money to get these likes. We have a good crowd coming on in here. So keep on coming in the building, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube. Go ahead and hit that like button on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, hit that like button and share it around the world. And let's keep on getting this people up in the building. But since we're talking about something, we're going to talk about a few topics today. But I got a question coming in right here. Not really a question, but something that you were talking to me back when we were texting each other before we were trying to get together on the show. And it's interesting. Miguel Marquez says, and I'm going to let you talk about this one. He says, Mike McCarthy worries me with his clock management and his decisions. Now, me and you talked about that, and you said you're tired of him getting the bum rap. Come on, expand upon this right here. What's your thoughts? Are you there?
Oh, I'm sorry. I had it on mute. Sorry, guys.
Okay. All right.
So I do totally understand why people would ask questions about Mike McCarthy. They don't like the clock management. They feel like he could do certain things. Okay, I get it. But ultimately, man, what we criticize this Cowboys team for years prior with Jason Garrett is not being aggressive, not going for it, coaching to not lose a football game. Mike McCarthy is ultra aggressive right now, which lets me know two things, Big Game. One, he believes in what he has offensively. He believes in it. He wants those guys. He has instilled a belief in them, be it through Dak Prescott, Zeke, the receivers, Kellen Moore. He has faith and belief in these guys that they can get something done. Now, this is what kills me. It's a execution game, right? Big Game, I can call out all the big plays I want to, and I can be as aggressive as I want. If my quarterback and receiver can't get on the same page and complete the pass, it's all for naught. So it's going to be one of those things. If we get the first down, it's great. If Zerline makes the field goal, it's great. If he misses, we should have went for it. He's in a lose-lose situation. I think what we need to stop focusing on in terms of all this, he should have done this in this moment. He should have called a timeout here, there, and the other. Focus on this guy has a pulse on this football team and understands what's going on. Football is a momentum game, Big Game. It's a momentum game. You have to know when to seize the moment and when to pull back on the reins, man. This guy knows what he's doing, man. Stop being so critical, trying to pick on every little thing he does, man. Let the guy coach the damn football team, man. He knows what he's doing. The team is 5-1. The proof is in the pudding. Let the man cook, man. That's how I look at it. Let the damn man cook.
I mean, this is the way I feel about it. Like I said, I'm gonna go back to it. I wanted Mike McCarthy when the head coaching position came up. He was the number one guy I wanted. I was very vocal about it. I wasn't mad about last year. I was frustrated, but I knew it was going to be that kind of year when Dak went down and all those injuries happened. So, but I did say he had a lot of hot fish grease on him this year. He was going to have to show improvement. Wasn't going to be no excuses, especially if this team is healthy. You got a good rookie class. You should be able to do it. So, I'm not mad. Why would I? Dallas is 5-1. And these people that are complaining, I'm gonna keep it real. I know no hate on nobody, but you ain't never coached in no college football. You ain't never coached no NFL. You ain't never been no offensive defensive coordinator, so you don't know what kind of pressure it's like when you're on that field and you got to make those bam calls. Do I make an excuse for it? No, but guess what? A lot of these people that are saying that stuff don't even know football like that. You feel me? Or y'all ain't never been in no kind of cooker situation, so you don't know. But just to bounce off of you, what you're talking about. what was you right? What was Cowboys fans always crying? See, Jason Garrett don't never go for it. He's scary as hell. Jason Garrett's scary. He predictable. He don't make no adjustments. He go with the same thing over and over and over and don't change until it's over. Everybody was crying about Garrett not doing this and Garrett not doing that, and the culture of the team, and we had 10 years of that craziness, underachieving. Now you got 2 years in, you had a COVID year and a lot of injuries, but now you got everybody healthy and you seeing how the team is rolling. Kellen Moore is rolling. Dan Quinn is doing his thing. He's getting his defense together, still young. You still got parts missing. Dallas is 5-1. You barely lost to Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay in the last seconds of the game. You beat who you're supposed to beat. You go into Foxborough and slay that dragon because that was a dragon. That was like a dragon from like 2003 dragon. They ain't touched them Patriots in a long time. And it wasn't in Dallas. That was in New England. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong, but Dallas still came out with the victory. So I don't give a hell. I'm not tripping on no Mike McCarthy. Dallas is 5-1 in first place. They're one of the top teams, if not the top team, banging with Tampa Bay right now. So I don't got no complaints. Okay, yeah, clock management. Yeah, I don't be liking it sometimes. And sometimes I'm like, why are you going with Greg Zuerleiner? I did question the first fourth down when it was like they were on like the 30-something yard line. It was early. I'm like, why are you doing that? You ain't got to do that. I mean, it's early. Go with your defense. So I was a little frustrated with that one. I didn't like that. I didn't like you don't have to do that. But I do like how he does go for it. And like you said, he believes in Dak. He believes in his offense. He believes they can get the first down. Because guess what? This is one of the top offenses in the league. Second, I don't know if they first now because they had another 500-yard game. You seen Dak 445. You can't stop them even with a bad game. Really, won the run game. They still both averaged over 4 yards a carry and got 67 and 50 yards respectively. You feel me? CeeDee Lamb, 9 catches over $145, 2 touchdowns. You feel me? Like, there's so many weapons, so it's hard for McCarthy to say, yo, I don't think you can stop us. We're going to go for it. And guess what? My quarterback is playing all world now, and I believe in him.
Yeah, well, and you know what? I would say this. It's not like McCarthy is sitting there looking at it like, oh, it's 4th and 6. We're just going to go for it. These are 4th and 1, 4th and 2. You have Ezekiel Elliott, who, as everyone says, has the best, what you call it, body lean. That's not the word I'm looking for. But the ability to fall forward when he's getting tackled. You know, you have guys like that. You have an offensive line that can move people. So why not go for it? Here's the thing. Sometimes, big game, the defense is just going to make a play. And they're going to stop you. On occasion, that's going to happen.
And they did. But guess what? Here's the thing, though. Now, also, let's talk about this too, Billy. Dallas didn't have no defense before, so don't you think that he has a little confidence in Dan Quinn in the defense too? If he does go for it, I feel like we can stop you, and we got playmakers on defense now, and I got a guy that's really going to come at you in all kind of ways. Because guess what? The defense didn't play great. Mac Jones had a great game, 15 of 21. I think it like 239, 2 touchdowns. They ran the ball. Damian Harris had 18 carries for like 101. Those 2 20-yard runs, though, I went back and looked a little bit of the tape. Those were overblown. That wasn't a situation where, because I've seen some people say, oh, guess what, man? Bohanna and Brent Urban, them guys got to get it together. No, it wasn't that. It was a situation where they went through, they shot the gap too quick. He just hit the gap where he shot past, and it was both times on those 2 runs. So beyond that, they were strong runs. He did run the ball strong, but those 2 long runs was more missed assignments than one of those things where they was just gashing us. But still, they were efficient in what they did. But at the end of the day, Dallas still got turnovers. Sack fumble by Randy Gregory and that damn Ben. My dog Prince Jackson jumped in there and talked about. He had 2 sacks. Once again, 4 sacks on the season. Trevin Diggs, we already know about him. 7 picks, 6 games. He's setting records out here, dog. You feel me? So even when the defense wasn't like doggish, like dominating you, at the end of the day, it's opportunistic. And as long as you have an opportunistic D, you don't have to have it at top 5. You don't have to have it even top 10. If your defense can get turnovers and create plays, those type of things, that's going to be carrying you later on down the year too, because your offense can always do what it wants. Because right now, who's stopping this offense? When you watch this offense, I'm going to ask you this. I'm asking the people in the chat, dog. We punted one time. Dallas punted one time in that New England game. Guess what? Guess how many times they punted against the Giants? Once. So that's 2 games. You punted twice. And you dropped 35 in one game and over 40 in the other one. So that offense is lethal and deadly. So you can't really stop it. As long as that defense is continuing to create these turnovers and get sacks at critical times or get them out on third downs, because guess what, Billy? Dallas is keeping opponents under 40% on third downs. That's huge.
Getting them off the field, which is what we talked about earlier this year. You got to be able to get guys off the field. And I wanted to address one of the comments I saw over there real quick, Big Game. I think someone asked a question about Coach McCarthy and why he didn't challenge the play when Dak didn't get in, or they supposedly say he didn't get in on third down. If I remember correctly, I mean, you guys have to remind me in the chat because I can't remember the game directly like that. But I think that was towards the end of the first half, right? Was that under 2 minutes left to play? Because I know under 2 minutes you're not able to challenge. It has to come from upstairs.
I think it may have been. I think it may have been. Some people may know because I don't remember exactly where it was. But see, my thing on that right quick on that too, Billy, you couldn't see it. It looked like a touchdown.
Yeah,
it was a touchdown in my opinion. But guess what? You already seen how them refs was coaching this game. You seen how they were doing it, dog. You really think that? I was surprised. I'm gonna keep it real. One of the plays of the game was when they got that touchdown called back, when the Patriots got that touchdown called back, and they went up 21-7. I was surprised they called that because guess what? The next play, that's when Randy Gregory had the strip sack fumble and Dallas was back in business. If they didn't call that might have changed the whole course of the game, being down 21-7 in New England. You feel me? So I was surprised they called that one. I don't know if it was a makeup call, but I was surprised they went out there and did that because I'm not the conspiracy ref guy, but it just seems like, man, some of these calls are just really egregious. And it's really call it, make sure you're calling it both ways. But like I said, you fought that, you fought Belichick, you fought that crowd, you fought them wanting to kill the Cowboys, and you still walked out in victory. Your quarterback is a top 3 quarterback right now. 1,800 passing yards, 73% completion on the year, 8.3 yards per play, 16 touchdowns, top 5, only 4 interceptions. Dog, I mean, he's top 5 in the league in yards passed for, man. I mean, when you got a quarterback playing like that, you can beat anybody.
Well, it's a combination of Dak Prescott's playing well this season. Okay. And then you have the running game. And I've maintained this, man. The Cowboys, even look at the end of the game with the big CeeDee Lamb touchdown. I was just watching some TV not too long ago. They went to the same 12 personnel 3 times in that last drive, and they ran the same play action off of it, running to the left. First time they hit Dalton Schultz out in the flats, if you want to call it. Backdoor gave it to Tony Pollard, off left tackle, came back to touchdown pass CeeDee Lamb. All the same thing. They're running I don't want to call it the LA Rams offense, but you know Sean McVay does that all the time. They try to run many different plays out of the same formation, same action. So it's a defense. It's like, man, this looks the same, but what's the new gadget that's coming out of this? Kellen Moore is trying to run that same type of setup, and it's good. That's why when you ran that play, CeeDee Lamb was wide open because they did not know who to go check. We'll hit you with Schultz. We'll hand it to Zeke. We'll hand it to Pollard. We'll throw it to Jarwin out of this setup. Man, they just had a whole thing going. And that's good quarterback play. It's good play calling. And furthermore, above all else, it's just good execution, man. These guys are learning how to play this game the way it's meant to play and play it to good thing. It's coming together for them at the right time.
That's a great observation because I remember Kellen Moore talking about last year how he was talking about running those same type of deal where you said you have a play, but you have 7 different ways they can attack you out of one play. And it shows you that look where the defense thinks, okay, they just ran there where they're going to come like this. Let's adjust and come to the line of scrimmage because they're going to run this play. And they check and he comes right out of it. And just like you said, those 3 times when they came with that play, CeeDee Lamb was wide open because you're showing that look and it looks like the same thing. So the defense is not getting the time to adjust. and then boom, wide open. Not just that, like I said, Kellen Moore, this is year 3 with Dak Prescott. This is year 3 in the NFL. This dude had a NFL mind, like he was ready for the NFL. He just didn't have the physical attributes to play in the NFL. But his
Right.
mind, he could definitely do NFL. So it was just, to me, a natural thing for him to slide over to the play calling. And at the end of the game, when I seen him hugging Dak, like I said, that's the key thing to me. That offensive coordinator quarterback relationship is huge. And when
Yeah.
those two guys are on the same page, it makes it so much easier what you're trying to run and what you're trying to do. And your quarterback is playing at a very elite level. Now, let's talk about, you got Michael Gallup coming back. Cedric Wilson's play out of this world,
Ooh-wee.
right? Cedric Wilson's play out of this world. But to me, I love Cedric Wilson, but I still think Michael Gallup's better than Cedric Wilson. So now you got that element when Gallup comes back of deep threat, aggressive yards after catch. This guy is going to open the offense even more. Then you got La'el Collins, Terrence Steele. Shout outs to you, dog. Let me give you a big salute, Terrence Steele. Let me give you another big salute, Terrence Steele, because I was talking trash about you even with the preseason, because you didn't look good in the preseason. You were not, I didn't tear him up like last year, like everybody else, because me and Boss Cowboys had talked about, even before he got picked up with the Cowboys, we like, this is a guy, he ain't terrible. He's got the attributes. He was undrafted. You just got to let him grow. Right. So now he stepped his game up. So it's a great thing when you can bring a La'el Collins back. And I've seen people say, switch to left guard. Yeah, it's a great thing and a great thought, but I don't think the Cowboys are going to do it. So that's why I don't entertain those thoughts when I feel like the Cowboys are going to do it. I feel like they're going to stick them right back at right tackle. And now you got a luxury now. You got a luxury in Connor McGovern. You got a luxury in a Terrence Steele. You feel better about that. And then they got that rookie that they like, Josh Ball, too. And I heard he's a player. Even though he's a rookie, I heard he's a pretty good player. So you have depth along the line. So when you just look at this team across the board, Billy, going into this bye, you got DeMarcus Lawrence getting ready to come back as well. Donovan Wilson played in that game. And I want to get your thoughts on D-Law, because this is my thought right quick. Get your thoughts on this. Mm-hmm. The defense, Randy Gregory, 4 sacks. That damn Ben, he's been playing out of this world, and he's saying he need to get better. I really love Michael Parsons rushing the quarterback. I know they got him at linebacker, and I get it. Move him around, find mismatches. But I just feel like ever since he went back to linebacker, it's taken away from his ability. It's like that left side has fall off a little bit when he couldn't rush it. Basham's okay. Golston, he's a young rookie, but he's still limited in the pass rush moves. Bradley and I like the pass rush moves, but he's still learning the ropes. How you feel about D-Law coming back, and what do you think he will add to this team? And will he take this defense to a next level?
Well, I think anytime you get a all-pro, Pro Bowler type talent back at the end, and he's known for being a great pass rusher. In addition to that, he's good in run support as well. Anytime you get a guy like that back, man, that's always a good thing. I think at the beginning of the season, big game, we always talked about what it would be like to have D-Law and Randy Gregory on opposing side, on opposite sides of one another, rushing the quarterback. And we knew that those guys could fly up the field. We wanted to know what we'll have in the middle as far as like a Neville Gallimore, now Osa, Diggy Zua, and some of these other guys. But DeMarcus Lawrence coming back will be huge. From a leadership standpoint, a talent standpoint, if you're an offensive coordinator, you're having to look at it and be like, damn. Not only do I have Randy Gregory playing out of his mind with this great Ben, but now I have DeMarcus Lawrence coming back. And DeMarcus Lawrence is bringing education back to that position as well, because he's a smart player. He's not just a skilled physical player. He's a smart player. So I'm looking now and I'm like, damn, I got to account for D-Law. I got to account for Randy Gregory. This old Diggy Zua guy is kicking our ass in the middle. Neville Gallimore is back. And then have good linebackers right behind him. That is a nightmare of a situation to have to worry about. And it makes you it's more challenging from an offensive standpoint, trying to move the football. And then these guys can get you off the field, man, which is going to put that ball right back in that high-powered offensive set. When D-Law comes back, man, I think this defense is going to go to another level. I'm not going to call them a top 5 defense, but I think the pressure is going to be more. That's going to make things easier for Trevon Diggs. I think it's going to make things easier for Anthony Brown. Keep in mind, the one guy we keep forgetting to talk about here, Kelvin Joseph.
Yep.
People have completely forgotten this guy's on the team.
And he'll be back. He'll be back
After the bye. Yeah. And if you want to be honest, I know Trevon Diggs is the best ball hawk guy we have in that secondary. But as far as pure athleticism, Kelvin Joseph, that's it, man. That's the one. So when you get D-Law and all these guys working up front on that front line, man, getting after guys, it's only going to make your secondary jobs easier. I expect them to jump routes, get more interceptions, more turnovers. They're about to turn up, big dog. As soon as they get there, as soon as they get everybody back, it's going to turn into a whole nother situation.
Yeah, I this is what I thought about. This is what I think about with D-Law. I feel like he hears. D-Law's a person that likes to talk, and I know he listens to talk. He does. He listens to the press clippings. He listens. And, you know, I seen my dog, the Lunatic, talking about his salary, and it's probably going to be something to talk about because you got these young boys playing really good. So it's going to be something to be talked about in the offseason. So if this, I talk with the players like in real life. So
Right.
if I'm a real life player and I'm 27, 28 years old, I got all these young boys coming around, everybody talking about them. Ain't nobody talking about D-Law. Now they talking about they may cut me next year. Woo, 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 woo. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do when I come back. I'm going to play like a madman out of my mind because guess what? I better. You feel me? Because who knows what's going to happen to me now? Who knows if I'm going to be here? We know about them Joneses, especially Steven with that money. And we know about restructuring and things like that. You may get cut. And I think that he already did one restructure already, put some money in the pot. So I feel like D-Law's going to come back motivated because a lot of people haven't talked about him. A lot of people are saying, hey, you might be gone next year. So I feel like he's going to come back with the reckless abandon and let everybody know that I haven't left. And guess what? I have a lot more left in the tank and a lot more to offer this team, which is a great thing. I want that. That's a great thing for the Cowboys because then he's bringing his best back to the team. And then, like you said, with Kelvin Joseph, when you look at Trevon Diggs and Kelvin Joseph was not that playmaker like Trevon Diggs was because, like I said, Trevon Diggs was a receiver. When you watch Trevon Diggs and you look at his body type, he looks like a long receiver. That's what he was in high school. That's what he was in college. He looks like a receiver, dog. He just long. He just knows how to get the ball, and he's a great ball hawk. When I see Kelvin Joseph, I don't see him getting a lot of picks, in my opinion. I see him being super athletic and sticking all over you, though. I feel like he's going to be one of them physical type corners. I'm not saying he's no Darrelle Revis or nothing like that, but his body structure, his body type, but I think he's more athletic. That's why I could compare him. Somebody who's going to be physical, real physical at the line of scrimmage, because Kelvin Joseph will come up and tackle. He's not he's not scared to stick his nose up in there.
He'll mix it up with you.
I feel like he's going to be the physical corner, and Trevon Diggs is going to be the playmaker. So if you want guys that you want to body and get muscle, muscle them and get real physical, maybe get in the head, that's what I think your boy Kelvin Joseph may offer. So I'm interested to see when he gets back on the field. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Neville Gallimore. And once again, I'm still crazy that we can't even talk about Tristan Hill.
Right.
We can't even talk about him, dog.
Right.
That's wild. That's wild. That's crazy. We ain't even thinking about Tristan Hill. He just a forgotten man. When back in the day, only a year ago, everybody's like, we need Tristan Hill. We need Tristan Hill to step up, blah, blah. But that's the great thing right now, big dog, is that last year we were screaming for these people to get back on the field. Now you just a great addition when you come back. That's a big thing right now in Dallas land.
Yeah, that's huge, man. It speaks towards the depth. I know someone in the comments dropped Don Wright's name in there. We haven't even talked about this guy. I mean, he's on the team. I think he's running down on special teams and whatnot, man. But Dan Quinn has done a tremendous job. And the Cowboys front office has done a tremendous job acquiring talent, man, and putting these guys out here and giving your coaches options. I feel like in years past, we didn't necessarily have options on personnel. We had guys playing out of position. We had guys trying to play beyond their skill set because we didn't have personnel. Now, when you look at the Cowboys, especially on the defensive side of the ball, you can move Micah Parsons around. You can move Jaron Kearse around. Big game. You can move Malik Hooker around. Malik Hooker isn't even a full-time starter, but when he's in there, he's productive. DeMonte Casey, of course, Diggs, Joseph coming back. Nashawn Wright possibly getting on the field. Donovan Wilson coming back. Donovan Wilson wasted any time coming back, hitting somebody yesterday. I forget who it was, man, coming across the middle.
Yeah, he laid the wood. I think it was oh my gosh.
I think was it one of their tight ends?
No, it was a receiver. He was kind of eating us up. He was eating us up underneath. I can't remember his name, though.
But I just remember Donovan Wilson came in. He doesn't waste any time. He's going to hit you. And so you have these guys out there, man. They're just going to take their time. I hope Tristan Hill gets some burn. It only helps us out, man, when you have depth at that defensive line. So keep guys fresh and keep them rolling, man. This is a long 17-game season. Carlos Watkins, I thought he played a tremendous game yesterday as well. He was all over the place. Big game. They're in great shape, man. The only thing that's going to stop this team as a whole is injuries, man. If these guys can stay away from that major injury, they're going to get nicked. But if they can stay away from that injury to their key guys, and a lot of key guys are finally coming back, they're going to be in great shape, man. They're going to be in tremendous shape.
Well, hey, I mean, that's a great thing to have. Like I said, injuries, that's the key. But once again, as in my opinion, you don't have those back-to-back years where you had those major injuries like you had 1 year before. That just doesn't happen in the NFL. I haven't really seen. I haven't seen 2 back-to-back years of major injuries from an NFL football team. It just really doesn't happen. You'll have that 1 year where there's a whole bunch of people injured, but then you come back from that. And I think that's what's happened with the Cowboys. Now, I got a question for Carlos Holloway. He said, would y'all rather keep Hurst as strong safety or Donovan Wilson start? I'm going to keep it real. I was checking out the snap count because, they're slowly bringing back Donovan Wilson. Donovan Wilson got 14 snaps in the game. Hurst had 53. He still had the most snaps, I believe, on the field once again. So if you're asking me, would I keep him as strong safety starting? Yeah, why not? I mean, he's played very well. It'd be different if and see, here's the thing. And this is why I say this about Hurst, okay? And this is no knock on Donovan Wilson. I haven't left the Donovan Wilson train. I still like Donovan Wilson. But what I'm saying is this. Donovan Wilson was a 6th-round draft pick, 5th or 6th round draft pick. He wasn't a 2nd rounder. He wasn't a 1st rounder. He wasn't a 3rd rounder. He was a late rounder. You feel me?
Yep.
And Donovan Wilson just had a little bit of tick last year. So it wasn't like he's been in the league 3 or 4 years and established himself and he's just his spot. You can't take it. That wasn't the case with Donovan Wilson. He still had a lot to prove as well. Donovan Wilson did not have a guaranteed spot because he still had something to prove too.
Right.
He played well last year, but he wasn't no guarantee. And then he had the injury, and they said he should have been in off-season minicamp. That's a whole nother story. But at the end of the day, he wasn't no top guy. And I ain't dissing him, but if you got a guy like Hurst who's coming in and playing all world, why are you going to mess that up? I say that you continue to mix and match him like that Dan Quinn is doing. Seems like he's got a good little rotation with KZ, Hooker, Wilson, and Hurst. So I like how he's doing it. If you're starting Hurst and he's continuing to produce, it's okay. If he falls off a little bit, you got a guy that has started so you can bring him in. So where are you frustrated at? I like Hurst over Wilson, in my opinion, just for this, because you can play him as a linebacker.
Yeah.
Wilson will lay the wood on you, but he ain't big like Hurst, though, dog. He's not big like him. And you can set Hurst right at that line of scrimmage, and they like to blitz him. He had that big hit on Mac Jones late in the second half, which was a huge got him off the field. So if he's starting, keep it as it is.
Well, I would agree with you. My thing is we're getting away from that culture of guys getting injured and then just because they're a name, bring them back and just give them their job. No. If guys have been playing, make these guys who are returning prove their worth again. Now, I wouldn't go that far as to say that on somebody like Michael Gallup. I think we all can agree Michael Gallup is a better overall receiver than Cedric Wilson is. But don't just throw Cedric Wilson and other guys to the side. That would be foolish to take Hurst. Oh, well, it was Donovan Wilson's job originally. He's back. All right, go to the bench. No, this guy's playing and producing for you. You have to find a way to now incorporate that guy that has been missing and bring him back into the fold as opposed to just give a job and saying, hey, everybody else just go sit back down and do your normal role. No, guys are playing well. Let your coaches. It's a good problem to have as a coach. When you have too many good players and you're having to figure out where to play them. I think that's a great issue to have.
Yeah, and like I said, man, I come from the theme of Donovan Wilson wasn't no high pick. He wasn't no high pick. He was a low round pick. So to me, you don't get the leeway like a Michael Parsons would or like a Kelvin Joseph would, because those were high draft picks. They get a little bit more leeway because you spend more money on them. When you're a later round draft pick and you haven't really got a lot of tick, and I ain't hating on Wilson, I still love that dude. But guess what? Competition is fierce up in that building, and competition brings the best out of you. So really, it's a good problem to have that you have somebody competing like this, because it makes you play better, because you don't want to sit on the bench. You don't want to sit down now. You want your spot back. So in the time that you're in there, you're going to try to make a play. So that's a good thing. Like I said, dog, I'm excited because of what I see on the horizon. I see you're at a bye. You got Minnesota coming up next. The schedule isn't crazy. The Chiefs aren't what they were. Yes, you got a showdown with the Cardinals, but that's definitely a beatable team. Saints, I mean, you got your division again. Raiders, not really scared of them. I mean, you get what I'm saying? Like, this team can really run the table. And I'm going back to this more than anything else, y'all. As much as his defense has played well, right? As much as they got turnovers +7 in the turnover margin still, as much as these guys have got turnovers, Trevin Diggs with these 7 interceptions, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard averaging over 5 yards a carry, CeeDee Lamb, quickest receiver to 100 receptions in Cowboys history. You see he's balling out. He's top 10 in yards, top 10 in touchdowns. So, but the whole key of this is Dak Prescott. He is the whole key to this, big dog, because number one, remember the controversy. When Dak gonna get his contract? Is they gonna sign him? Is it gonna drag out? Is it gonna be this? Is it gonna be that? The Joneses did the smart thing, signed Dak early, didn't play the game, letting him fester until the draft and all that other stuff. They signed him, they sealed him, and they got him in there. And once that happened, now I felt like Dak was like, okay, this is truly my team. Now follow my lead. And you see everybody on that team follows him. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he puts in the work, dog. I can't stop talking about it, dog. 2016 to seeing him now, it's two different players.
I would agree with that 100%. Dak Prescott has come a long way from 2016. Here's the thing. Nobody can question Dak Prescott's leadership, his ability, the intangibles. Man, he has everything you need. Listen, I'll put it like this. I know Dak has been playing well. There are a handful of quarterbacks in the league that I can look at and be like, you know what? This guy has maybe a better physical skill set as far as throwing the ball, accuracy, so on and so forth. However, the intangibles, which is something that is very vital to your success, being the leader of a football team, especially the Dallas Cowboys, you need guys who know how to say the right things. They're consummate professionals. These guys know how to work. They put in the work. They can get guys to follow behind them. Dak Prescott checks every single last one of those boxes. There are certain things that I, as somebody who watches football, who feels like, okay, Dak could get these areas, and these things are all things that are correctable on the field. However, in terms of leadership and the things that this team needs, Dak is the quarterback for this football team because he understands what he has behind him. He understands the leadership role, and he does not back away from the leadership role. Previous quarterbacks might not been that way, but Dak Prescott is the guy we need in terms of leadership, and his ability is right up there along with it. So he's not a bad quarterback. He's the guy to get the job done. I think he can lead us to that promised land. But he's been playing outside of his mind. Kellen Moore, those guys are working in conjunction with one another. Defense is playing complementary football. Special teams is coming along. Big game. They had a big – we hardly ever see anything like that.
Luke Gifford, that was huge. I was nervous because I seen him break through the line. I said, man, don't run into that kicker. Oh, yeah. Oh, go.
Rush,
That's what I'm
yeah,
talking about. Let's
it all
go.
it almost makes you not want to go rush and rush it because you don't want what's going to come at the end of it.
Right.
But
It's like 4th and 4. Don't jump off sides. Don't hit them then. But it's just like, hey, just like you said, man, this feels good because everything seems to be clicking. But I want to go back to something. You sound a little guy like you got some reservations on Dak. Like you said, Dak got to get better. Tell me where some thoughts where you think Dak needs to get better. Where at? Because I mean, when I see it, yes, he does miss some throws at times. But tell me where you think he needs to get better at on the
well,
field.
so this is my thing about Dak Prescott, and I've been very clear about this. The guys on the show, man, they always ride my tail about it. About man, you're hating on him. I don't hate on Dak Prescott. I think he's a tremendous quarterback. My whole thing is big game. I've been watching football for quite some time, as well. You have and other guys as well. What I understand is that as a quarterback, man, the leadership and all the intangibles are there. I think Dak still has the tendency, on occasion, not all the time, but on occasion, to still do some things that are kind of, I don't want to use the word immature, but things that I feel like we should be past at this point in his career, okay? I think Dak still tends to hold on to the ball too long. Knowing how critical you are to the success of the offense, I'm sorry. I don't want you holding on to the ball, trying to extend plays too much. Your offense is far too talented. Get rid of the ball, live to play another down. Don't take these unnecessary licks and things like that. I understand it's the competitor in you. I get that. I understand it. But I don't want to see that. And then my biggest thing with Dak Prescott that I always say is, hey, look, guys. Look, when it comes down to it, big game, accuracy is key, man. And that's for any quarterback, not just Dak. It's for any type of quarterback. I looked at that play yesterday, and I pointed it out to the guys as we were watching the game. The one where he threw the interception, I think he was trying to throw it to Cedric Wilson. Great read. Great read. I saw the guy was open. I just felt like sometimes as a quarterback, man, because when you get into later in the season, big game, we start playing these other teams and better defenses, you're going to have to fit that ball into some windows, man. You can't throw it behind. The only reason that ball was intercepted was because that ball was behind. And again, it's not that Dak has to throw every pass perfect, but I just think there are small inconsistencies within that can take points off the board, which we saw yesterday. It almost came back and bit us in the ass. But those are the things. I don't have any reservations in terms of if he's a franchise quarterback, if he's the guy for here. I 1,000% believe he's the guy to here. I just want to critique my guys to make them better. That's the bottom line. I just want to critique my guys to make them better, and that's it. And to whoever said that, Mr. Holloway, he's right. There is no quarterback that's perfect. I agree, 1,000%.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it is what it is. You know, I don't trip off that. I look at it like, you know what? This is what I feel. I think Dak may still do that a little bit, but this is my thing. It doesn't bother me as much now because it did used to bother me because I felt like he was holding on to the ball because he was trying to he was trying to aim his passes, like he was trying to aim to the where it was instead of throwing it where
just
the guy's supposed
freely.
to
Exactly.
throwing it to where the spot is. Yeah, just having the anticipation.
Yeah,
I feel like he has that now, and I feel like now when he holds on to it, he's trying to make a big play, and I'm cool with that because we got big play players on the team. Case in point, when he's been flushed out the pocket, he can stay in there, but I like when he's flushed out the pocket and he's going deep. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Dak is throwing these 10-yard passes when getting flushed out these pockets. He's throwing them up past 20 yards.
he's looking for big plays.
You know, I like how he's looking for the big plays now. I am a little leery with the running, but you know what? I'm feeling good about the ankle. I ain't really tripping off that. But 73%, 6 games, 73% a career high, and he's been steady that the whole season. And it's not like he's just throwing 0 to 10 yards to get 73 completion percentage. He's throwing big plays, big throws. And, you know, I mean, just in the overtime, 7 for 7 for 72 yards with the game-winning touchdown. I mean, just like I said, dog, the reason why these Cowboys are different, yes, it's a good coaching. Yes, you got the talent. But to me, Dak is that true franchise quarterback now. And when you have that, it's different because I'm gonna keep it real, dog. It was 3rd and 25, dog, in the fourth. We had to get that 3rd and 25 to get this game.
Yeah, it was huge.
And let's keep it real. Back in the day in 2016, 2017, in my opinion, I was like, we're gonna lose. That's what I felt back then.
We're gonna throw a nice little check down right there.
I was like, he's gonna check it down or he's gonna hold the ball and he's not gonna complete this. That's what I felt about Dak. I still love Dak. I still supported Dak. But back then, I was like, he's not going to complete the 3rd and 25, game over. We ain't coming back. I would think that if it was a drive and we were down like 3 points and it was early in his career, I didn't have the confidence. I didn't think he could do it. But now, it's not even a thought. Like, when he gets the ball now, I'm like, let's go, Dak. I just feel like, you know what? He's taken those next steps to be this great quarterback. He's worked his butt off. He's been in the offseason. He's made himself a great quarterback. And when you have that talent on the field, you're playing lights out on the field, and you already had that leadership, dog. This is why the Cowboys are playing like they are. This is why. Because he was in there in the offseason. He was in there working out. He was in there training. He was forcing everybody to make sure they're doing the same thing. And that's going a long way. And I believe that's why this team is different, dog. It's fully Dak's team, and he has helped take it to the next level, in my opinion.
No, I can roll with that. Let me ask a question here. This is for the people out here in the comments too, man. I see a lot of mixed reactions here. This is something I wanted to ask last night. If you look at since the time Dak Prescott's gotten here in 2016 to where we are now, and let's specifically just start when we got Amari Cooper. Well, that was 2018, right? That we got Coop. So I want to ask, do you feel like Dak Prescott, being quarterback he is, has made Amari Cooper a better receiver, or do you think Amari made Dak a better quarterback? If you had to look at those two. I mean, I know they work in conjunction with one another, but Amari was kind of a made man when he got here. There were reservations about him by way of what John Gruden and those guys were throwing around out there. But who do you think has benefited the other person more, if you want to say? This is not a slight towards either one of them. But if you look at it from when the time they got here and they start playing together, how would you say that? What would you think?
Well, just for how you asking me and thinking about it, just off the top of my head, maybe I have to think about it a long time, but I would say you could definitely say both. I see a lot of people in the comments saying both, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Amari has helped Dak more, and this is where I'm gonna come from in my perspective. Because, see, when Dak had 2016, he really had Ezekiel Elliott. That offensive line was still in top grade. You still had Dez there. That was an alpha. You still had the guy, so he didn't really have to be the man. You feel me? 2017, didn't have no receivers. You saw it was going back and forth with the Dez. He wasn't the same guy. And they were doing receiver by committee, and we saw that was a bad idea, and it flopped.
Yeah, that was Stephen Jones.
Guess what?
Yeah.
When Dak Prescott got Amari Cooper, though, it just seemed like Amari was established. Amari was already a dog, okay?
Right.
And I felt like when I watched Amari with Derek Carr and stuff, I would watch his body language, and when Derek Carr didn't get him the ball, completed weird passes or underthrew him or something, you could see his body language like, man, dog, come on,
what am
dog.
I doing? Right.
Yeah, get me the ball here. And Dak was having issues before Amari got there. So for Amari to come to Dallas and say, man, me and Dak click, Lord, I think Dak was like, I got to step my game up because I got a bona fide dog, young dog now that we just traded for. First round pick. When you feel the pressure, you got a dog. Amari Cooper ain't no bum. I got to get him the ball and complete the passes to him. I got to be on target. I got to make these throws. I feel like Amari made him a better quarterback because he's like, Amari going to look at you like, you better start getting this ball to me where I want it. Like, and remember Amari to talk to Dak. Amari would say, I like the ball here. I like it this way. I like it right here.
They had to work it out.
I just feel like Amari made Dak step his game up, and I feel like Dak became an even better quarterback when you had a weapon like that because you got to be able to throw that ball to him. Regardless of how good he is, you still got to complete those passes.
Yeah, that's true. And one thing we know about Amari Cooper, when he runs those routes, big games, when he come out of his breaks, man, there's nobody around him. I mean, this guy knows how to separate. And that in itself makes the game easier for a quarterback. And it's not about Dak Prescott. It's any damn quarterback, man. When you have a good receiver that can run a good route and he comes out of those breaks clean, you as a quarterback, you have no option but to hit him. You have no option but to hit him. I understood it even back in the day when we had Dez, because everyone said, oh, Dez doesn't create separation. He's more of a Romo guy, 50-50 jump ball. And yeah, that's what he did great. But Dak now actually has receivers that can run routes and get open and create separation. And that helps him out as well. So I think he doesn't have a shortage of receivers or talent around him, be it Zeke, Pollard. The offensive line is probably the most suspect thing, if you want to call anything, around Dak Prescott in this offense. You got receivers, you got tight ends now. You have running backs out the backfield. You can turn it around. I just want to see us go win a Super Bowl. I do believe Dak is the guy to take us there, man. But it's not so much a reservation about him and the type of player he is. I just think there's always room for critiquing and growing. I saw someone in the comments where we're too far down the line now, but they were just saying it seems like when everything's going well, we give all the credit to Dak. And when we're not playing well, granted we're winning, but when we're not playing well, we can seem to go and pinpoint everybody else. And there's room for critiquing of everyone. That's my whole story. That's my whole thing on it. But I'm just glad to be 5-1 in the big game. We're rolling. We're in good shape. Let's keep going.
I feel you. And just listen to the Lunatic. And I'm going to get this question from Joe Tranchina, but I bounce off the Lunatic because I think when John Kitna was here, that was a godsend for Dak Prescott.
Yes.
When I was writing articles, I wrote an article as soon as Kitna was named the quarterback's coach. I wrote an article on John Kitna. I said how this is going to do wonders for Dak because you know what he told John Kitna had some videos and he was telling what Mike Martz used to tell him. Look, dog, if I tell you to throw this ball right here, you better throw it. And he's like, I don't want to throw an interception. I ain't asked you to do that. I said run this play, and if this dude, you throw the ball. And so he basically said he gave him the courage to be able to be like, look, I'm the offensive coordinator. It falls on me. You just throw the damn ball.
Right.
And he said Mike Martz gave him that confidence to be like, okay, I don't have to sit here and worry about throwing an interception or throwing a pick or doing that. And I think that helped Dak because, you know, Dak is super cautious with that ball. And sometimes one of the reasons why he held on to it because he didn't want to do a turnover. He didn't want to put the team in a bad situation, so he would hold the ball and people would get frustrated with it. But Dak don't like turning the ball over and putting his team in bad situations. So I think Kitna came in there and gave him that wing it. Because when Kitna was there, he almost threw for 5,000 yards. So I think he gave him that oomph of go ahead and just wing it. I got your back. Don't matter if you throw an interception. That was his highest year, I believe, in interceptions. He's had 11 that year. 30, I think he had 11 that year, so he had a high interception rate. But I think Kitna gave him that oomph to be able to do it. So now Dak, even though Kitna is gone, it was a great piece that came into Dak Prescott's football life because I feel like Dak needed that for his football life, and it made him even a stronger quarterback because now he didn't have to worry about, oh, I got an interception, is this going to happen? You know. Play football and throw the ball. We believe in you. And I feel like that's made Dak a better quarterback because he's trusting himself. If you watch Dak now, when he throws the ball, it looks like he's trusting himself. He's not thinking, he's just getting it and winging it.
He's letting it go.
Yeah. So when I see him holding it, I think he's just trying to make a bigger play, see something bigger down the field. I don't mind a quarterback doing it. Not saying he doesn't miss here and there because I've seen it. But at the end of the day, hey, like you said, we 5-1. Dak had a game-winning touchdown to CeeDee Lamb. His calf is good. They said that it's no big. He's not going to miss any time. He's going to be fully healthy. This question from Joe Tranchino. We got these guys right around the corner. Kansas City, Arizona. He says, how do you think we match up to him? Well, how do you think we match up to him, Billy?
Well, Kansas City, obviously, it's no question about it. They have not been playing their best football. I don't know where this idea of Patrick Mahomes just all of a sudden sucks or he's not any good comes from, but the Chiefs are not good defensively. Offensively, they have their challenges, a lot of turnovers and everything. I thought even with the Chiefs at full strength, the Cowboys would have a legitimate chance just because of the way our offense functions. Uh, Arizona, that's later in the year. Depending on how things are, big games. To be honest with you, Cowboys may very well have this division locked up by the time they get there. And depending on how things go, it could be a huge game as far as like playoff positioning and that type of thing. But there's not a team in the NFC that I look at and be like, damn, we don't stand any chance against them. This Cowboys team is that damn good, and they're only going to get better. It could be a situation by the time we get to Arizona, maybe the Cowboys are playing at the top of their game, and we can be the favorites in that. So it's going to be one of those things. We'll have to wait until we get there. It's not a team that scares me in the NFC, barring any major health issues or anything like that. The Cowboys should be there and should have a say-so for what's going on.
I mean, I feel you. There's no team that, I mean, like you said, KC, I mean, everybody was talking about KC because we know they won the Super Bowl, but even when they won the Super Bowl, they never really had a dominant defense. They didn't. Their defense stepped up in that San Francisco game and made some plays. That's why they traded and got Frank Clark, because they needed more help. I mean, that's why they re-signed Chris Jones. They needed more help on this defense. And even in this past year, you know, they haven't been a dominant defensive team. I don't look at the Chiefs like they ever been dominant. They got some playmakers over there. That's all right. But that's not a team that you can say that can't stop you. The Cowboys can definitely move up the ball, up and down the field on the Kansas City Chiefs. So, and, you know, yes, you got Patrick Mahomes. Yes, you're going to have a Tyreek Hill. Yes, you got Kelsey. Yes, they have weapons. But we have an opportunistic defense now. And I think that makes the difference. You got a young, opportunistic defense, and that changes things when you have that, because before you just had Jalen Smith, you just had LVE and Sean Lee and Joe Thomas. Let's really think about this right quick. Look at the defense we had last year. Xavier Woods, is that Anthony Brown, Jordan Lewis, young Trevin Diggs. I'm not even going to include them. I'm going to call the people that been there. And then, like I said, your linebacking core, you had LVE, Jalen Smith, Sean Lee, Joe Thomas. These teams weren't scared of these guys. Mm-hmm. Teams were like, we're going to attack these guys because we like these matchups. Now Dallas doesn't have that. Now they got young guys. Now you got to look at it. Micah Parsons and Osa Ogadazua, and those young guys say, hey, and Randy Grant. Now you're like, hey, we got to watch out for this dude. Trevin Diggs, right. We got to watch out. See, you got players now that you got to watch out for. That wasn't happening before in Dallas. That makes a huge difference in what you're trying to do. And when you're playing the Arizona Cardinals, yeah, they're a good team. Yeah, they got some good players. They got J.J. Watt in the fold. They got A.J. Green. Kyler Murray's playing balls out. I mean, they got DeAndre Hopkins. They got players. Buda Baker, Chandler. They got players. They do. Yeah. But like you said, it's not something that Dallas walks in there like, oh, Dallas can't beat you. Yeah, Dallas definitely can beat you, because you still have to stop this Dallas Cowboy offense that's out averaging almost 35 points a game. You still got to stop this two-headed monster in Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott that Kellen Moore is incorporating them finally to where we want to see. You ain't had Michael Gallup. Now you probably going to have a Gallup, a CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and you got a Dalton Schultz who stepped up now and is looking like a Pro Bowl tight end, and everybody was talking about Blake Jarwin. Now you got a two-headed monster in tight ends, and your offensive line is still coming along. Let's pray for Tyron Smith, and let's say hope he stays good, because we need Tyron Smith to stay good, because I don't feel good with no Ty Nitschke out there.
No.
You feel me? I ain't feeling good him all, but you got weapons that I look at the Cardinals D. Cowboys can score on you. Yes, Kyler Murray will be an issue, okay, because he can run around and create. But here's the thing: we didn't have Micah Parsons last year. You didn't have Osa Ogadazua. You didn't have that speed that you have this year. So I feel a little better going into these matchups now, because you can match them speed-wise on defense, and that's huge. And you can come with waves of players, and they're not falling off for the guys that you bring off the bench.
Exactly. And you know what? I got the lunatic, man. I saw in the comments there, and I think it makes perfect sense, man. The Cowboys, in terms of that whole mentality and culture change, they're walking into the building ready to smack you. It's no longer this whole thing where we're looking at the schedule like, man, do we have a chance? No, other teams are looking at us like, damn, here comes Dallas, or we have to go to Dallas. That's a big thing, man. It's a mentality and culture change, man, that's happening right before our eyes, and we need to watch it and enjoy it, man, for what it is.
Definitely got to watch it and enjoy it. But just what you said right there, we were talking about. I was talking about this last year. I talked about this with George Teague. He's been on my show more than a few
Yeah,
times.
good old
I've been on his
George.
show. I
Yeah,
love some George Teague, and one of the times I think it was last year he was on my show, and me and him both were talking about Dallas ain't winning nothing unless they get
yeah,
some
yeah,
real life dogs on defense. Not no, oh, it sounds good, and not know these has-beens and some Christian Covingtons and some, you know what I'm saying? These guys that ain't gonna make no damn difference. You need to get some dogs. They drafted some dogs and some animals out there, and
yeah.
like you said, that's a difference because now you can attack teams. You couldn't attack teams before. You feel me? Because you didn't have the players to do it. It's hard to blitz a team when you ain't got players.
Right.
You feel what I'm
Period.
saying?
Yeah.
I want to blitz. I want to blitz too, but I'm not blitzing nobody if I know I'm gonna get cooked as soon as I blitz you and I ain't got nobody for protection.
Right.
Remember, who do we have at safety last year? Darian Thompson,
God.
Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
That's yucky.
Yeah.
Now you got guys that are actually legit, even though DeMonte KZ did the weirdo thing and gave up that touchdown, but that's
Yeah. I
okay.
don't
He's
know what
played
that was
good.
about. Yeah. You
Yeah,
played
I
well
don't know what
before that.
happened on that, but they all have played well. You feel what I'm saying? So we gotta look at the team that they had last year on defense and the team they have on this year is night and day, and that
Absolutely.
gives me the confidence to walk in the building. And just like you said, we were talking about it, Billy. Wasn't nobody scared of Dallas when they came. They was already calling that was a W.
Dub.
That's what they were looking at us. They were looking at Dallas like, man, we about to beat them. We about to beat the brakes off. We about to come in Dallas and beat the brakes off. We don't respect y'all. Y'all just a name. Y'all just all everybody. That's why teams love beating us because they just felt like we overrated.
Right.
Now it's not an overration. When Dallas is coming in there, and these teams, honestly, in my opinion, I feel now these teams are like, hey, this team is good. We got to really prepare. We got to be on our game or we could get blown out the water. That's what it feels good now because it hasn't felt like that in a long time in Dallas land, in my opinion.
Yo, I agree with you 100%, man. I tell you what, every Sunday or Thursday night, whenever we roll around, I'm looking at it and it's like, man, we have a great chance. I feel like if we show up and we play our best game, big game, we can beat any team that you throw at us. I don't care if it's the Buffalo Bills. I don't care if it's the Chiefs. Whoever your best team is, throw them at us. If we're going out there and we're playing our style of football and the way that we're known to play and play well, we have a great chance of winning a game against anybody, any field, neutral. They're at the house, a neutral field, their place. The Cowboys can give you what you want, man. And that's what's exciting as a fan watching this team.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna get this question up here from Dre Dre. Shout out to you for the $4.99 holla. Hey ho with the $4.99 holla. Appreciate you. Donation. We love him out here. But he says, you know what? And I'm gonna tackle this right quick because I know I said a few things. He says, I'm tired of this toxic culture of always trying to push somebody off the bridge. There's not a team out there that wouldn't pick up Connor Williams' contract. It's not a bad contract. Connor Williams is not a bad player, okay?
Not at all.
I said I would love to see Connor McGovern play the guard spot. And I also have said that if Connor Williams if his contract is up and he's not re-signed, you got a guy that you can slide right in Connor McGovern, okay? Now, we've heard that he could possibly play center, McGovern, things of that nature. Williams is not a bad player. He's not having a bad season. I think he's had the most penalties he's had so far. I think the highest penalty season he had was 6. I think he's up to 8 right now. A couple of those penalties I've seen in his 8 penalties, I think he's had 5 holding penalties. I think at least 3 of them been suspect. Okay, I'm gonna keep it real. 3 of them been hella suspect. The one I ain't mad at him for grabbing. He got the unsportsmanlike conduct when the dude bit past him and he grabbed him by the back of his jersey, not let him get the quarterback. I ain't mad at that. Okay, a lot of offensive linemen would do that. Yes, he's not as stout like we would want, but I can't say Connor Williams suck. I got on him earlier when Vita Vea and them, but how many Vita Veas are out there? You feel me?
Yeah, not many.
Ain't a lot of guys out there. So I guess I go back and forth with Connor Williams. If they don't re-sign him, I ain't tripping. I feel like you got a player that can come right in. But if they do sign him to a definitely friendly type deal, I ain't gonna be yelling at the world that you got re-signed Connor Williams back on the team. I just want to see Connor McGovern still get on the field. But I honestly can't say I'm mad at Connor McGovern, dog. He's not a bad player. He's not.
He's not, man. Big game. I think a lot of people don't understand with Connor Williams. Connor Williams is undersized to be playing left guard. You got to think about it. When he was in college, he was a left tackle. And he was a very good left tackle, man. Left tackles are more athletic for the most part. They're playing out wider against the elite level rushers and stuff like that. And he was good. He's undersized. And the only time he's getting beat up is when you have a Vita Vea. Or you have what's your man's name from the Eagles? Hargraves and Fletcher Cox. These guys beat up the guys that are bigger than them. These are dogs. So he's not just going up against some, top ramen defender over there. These are elite level guys who have been known to beat Zach Martin and some of these other guys. I'm not saying he's Zach Martin, but let's keep things in context and in perspective, man. He's an undersized left guard. He does well with what he can, man. He's not the worst. He's not the greatest, but he works with what we have. And it's okay, man. I don't have a problem with Connor Williams. I really don't. I think he's a pretty good football player. But, to each his own. People are going to want to put – the moment you don't make the play they want you to make, they're going to put you down. You're no good. You got to get out of here. This is just what the narrative is when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. Connor's got to block out the noise and just keep playing, man.
Well, when I look at what he's done so far this year, I mean, people will hate on him. But once again, he had a career year last year. This year, in 6 games, he's only given up 1 sack. And that was against the New York Giants. He's only given up 4 hurries. He's only given up 5 pressures. He gave up no pressures in the first 2 games, and that was against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You get what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
And his Pro Football Focus across the board. I know it's PFF. I don't go by everything, but if across the board, like I said, he is undersized as a guard. But guess what? He still only gave up 1 sack so far in 6 games. I think that's pretty damn good, right? We would say, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
We would all agree in 6 games, you've only given up 1 sack. That's pretty good. In 6 games, you've only given up 4 hurries. In 6 games, you only give up a total of probably 9 pressures altogether. In 6 games. Now, the penalties, that's not good. He has 9 penalties. He had 4 penalties in this game against the Patriots. That they've been kind of suspect, but he's had 3 games where he had no penalties. You get what I'm saying? So I can't hate on Connor Williams. If the Cowboys want to keep him and it's a good contract, I ain't going to be mad at it. I know everybody wants power and maybe slide La'el Collins in. It's what they want to do. These are the NFL guys. But if we're going to sit there and say Connor Williams is trash, I can't sit there and say that's true. That's not true, and he's a good player.
Yeah, there's no factual evidence that that's the case, man. I mean, football is a week-to-week game. You're going to have great games where you don't have any penalties. Then you're going to be challenged in other times, man. And we all seen it. I mean, look no further than yesterday's game. Sometimes the referees get it wrong. They just get it flat out wrong. So, again, we have to keep these things in context and understand what's going on. Connor Williams isn't the best left guard in football, but he's serviceable, man. And sometimes serviceable is okay, man, as long as you don't have the worst. And he's not the worst.
I mean, he's going to have a market. If Connor Williams goes out on the market, he's going to get scooped up really quick. That's just the
absolutely.
fact. There's not going to be teams like, oh, we don't want to get him. Yes, he's going to have a market, and they're going to scoop him up really quickly. I don't know what kind of contract he signs. I don't think he's that all-world guy to get an all-world contract, but I definitely think he's a good left guard. I don't know where they would move him or if they're going to keep him at left guard because I know he wanted to play center. He chose to want to be able to play center. I don't know if he wanted to do that to get more versatility. I don't know. But I know they haven't even let him sniff tackle in the NFL. And I don't think that would be his position anyway. I just don't think he's built for that tackle position. Yeah. And I think he probably should stay at the guard because he's been there and maybe try to do the center because I think he's smart enough and intelligent to do calls. People saying that center experiment didn't work, but it was kind of like on the fly. It wasn't like he was doing it all this time.
Right.
When you play center, you have to do that consistently all the time. So we'll see how that kind of pans out. But once again, I don't think Connor Williams is far from a bum. He's having another good year this year. And like I said, we'll see how it comes out in the end with that. Before we get off of here, big dog, so what's your kind of thoughts on the horizon as they head into this almost what we call the second half of the season? What do you kind of expect? Do you think the Cowboys can run the table? Do you think, I'm going to pull up the schedule right now. Do you think, man, that could be a team where we kind of just might lose this one? I'm going to pull it up right now. So after the Vikings, you got let's see. Okay, you got after the Vikings, you got Broncos, Falcons, then you got them Chiefs, Raiders, Saints, Washingtons, New York Giants, Washingtons, the Cardinals that you talked about. That it's a very late in the year, so things could already be settled. So that we'll see how important that game is by then.
Right.
And then you end with the Eagles.
Yeah. Well, shout out to the lunatic, man. He said we're going 16-1 until we ain't. So I can ride with that, man. But no, in all seriousness, man, it's the NFL. I don't expect the Cowboys to run the table. I'll tell you this: I feel very comfortable that we'll have a chance to win each and every one of those games. There's not a game that I see us being overmatched in.
No, not at all.
I would say the next game that I could see us really losing, I mean, you can lose any of them, but if I had to like really think about it, it would probably be the Chiefs to me. And the reason I say that, and I know they haven't played well, I just have this idea that they're going to play better. Okay? And if you look at it, outside of maybe Justin Herbert and obviously Tom Brady, we haven't played any like quarterbacks that have really been a real challenge. Patrick Mahomes is that. He's a challenge. So if you want to talk about Trayvon Diggs being tested and Kelvin Joseph and some of these other guys, Patrick Mahomes is going to be that one to test you. He's not going to back down. You ain't got to worry about no check downs with him. That ball's going over the top. You will be tested. That'll be our first chance to really see this defense get after it against a real and proven and elite level quarterback. I can see that being a tough game for us. But again, just based on how this Cowboys team is playing and what's coming back, big game, they're going to stand a chance against everybody. I originally called this team being 12-5 this season. I'm going to go ahead and slide them one more win. I see this team finishing 13-4. Where these other three losses come from, it could be at the end of the season where maybe we're sitting guys down or something. Who knows? But I can see this team finishing 13-4. There's nothing that scares me out there. I just want them to remain healthy, continue to grow and play well together, continue having fun. This team has the makings of a team that can make a run in the playoffs, assuming, health and nothing tragic happens,
Yeah, man. I'm going to just name one team in particular that I think that I'm going to keep my eye on. And I don't think they're a great team by any means. But this game that I'm circling is the New Orleans Saints.
Okay.
December 2nd at New Orleans. At
Superdome.
New Orleans. The Superdome.
Yep.
Okay. Dallas has notorious problems there. And the Saints, that's like a rivalry to them. They hate Dallas. They hate
for whatever
Dallas.
reason.
They hate Dallas because it's so close. Dallas and Louisiana, Texas and Louisiana, right there. So it's real personal for them to beat the Cowboys, and they play out of their mind in the Superdome. They play out of their mind. And like I said, since it's a personal battle, I just feel like keep your eye on that one. Like you said, they can lose any game, but when I look at this schedule, they definitely aren't overmatched in any of these games. They can run the table for real. They really could go undefeated, and I'm not jumping out there and saying, "Oh, Dallas is going to go undefeated." But when you look at if they play their game and do what they're supposed to do, yes, they can beat every team on this daggone schedule, dog. And
nobody scares me.
No team on this thing schedule scares me. But like I said, the thing I'm going to say before we get off of here is Cowboys. Yes, the adversity, but it's the success now. I keep going back to the success, Billy. It's not the adversity now, in my opinion, because Dallas has dealt with adversity. You had adversity last year. Your top quarterback went out. You had like 14 guys end up on injury reserve. You had turmoil. Your defensive coach got fired. You had all kind of It was all kind of craziness in 1 year, right? So you had hella obstacles, right? But you
Yep.
ain't had a lot of success since you've been there. I mean, yeah, you won some NFC titles, but I'm talking about this team is not like them other teams that
Right.
have been under Dak. So I feel like handling the success now of everybody patting you on your back. Ooh, y'all the team to beat now. Dallas is the team to beat. Dallas is this. Dallas is that. Because guess what? If you look at, because everybody's already gonna have Dallas in their mouth already.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, when Dallas wins, they're in every news publication on every. They start off on ESPN. They start off on NFL News. When Dallas is playing good, they're headlines. So my thing is, Cowboys, just keep a level head with the success. Keep the level head and just stay focused and don't look on the outside noise of what everybody's telling y'all what y'all are right now. Just keep your eyes on the prize, and the eyes on the prize is getting that 6, man. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm feeling real good right now. Cowboys 5-1 heading into the bye and pretty healthy. Dak Prescott looks like he's going to be good. Got guys coming back. So now it's time to make this run, man. So really appreciate you, big dog, jumping on here, man, like we do. We'll get it in again this week because we'll talk about the Vikings. But, man, let them know where you at, what you'd be doing over there with Best for Business. I think they checked in. Walt checked in over here for a little bit. Let them know what you just got going on, Billy.
Yeah, guys. So check us out, Best for Business, every Tuesday and Thursday night, starting up about 8:30 Central Standard Time. Check us out on Instagram, on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. If you don't already, please go and subscribe to the YouTube page. You can just simply search BFB DFW, BFB Mavs, BFB Cowboys. It's all there. We appreciate you jumping on there. If you want to follow me at Radio Guy Ray on Twitter, I'm always there. Big game. I've had some people trolling me because they hate when I talk. They hate when I talk about Dak Prescott, man. You say anything about that? I say it here all the time, man. Here in the city of Dallas, there are 3 people. You can't talk about Dak Prescott. You cannot talk about Luka Doncic. And you cannot talk about John Wiley Price. Any 3 of those people down here will get you murked in these streets, man. You got to be careful down here. So,
yeah, but see, here's what I got to
tough.
say about that, big dog. I'm gonna say about, because a lot of people was killing Dak Prescott, so I don't want to hear that. So people have been killing Dak for the last how many years? They're just now
3-4 years.
quieting the noise.
Yeah.
You feel me? They're just now quieting the noise, because even when he was through for almost 5,000, he can't beat nobody good. It was garbage time stats. So people were still doubting until they came in last year and was still playing that record pace. And I think when he came in this year and he played the way he played against Tom Brady, I think everybody was like, okay, he's good now. Like, Dak is there. Like, not saying he's there because he can still continue to get better, but I looked at that, was like, okay, he hadn't played all year. He hadn't played all preseason, and he came in balling. Okay, we good on Dak. You feel me? We good on our quarterback now. Let's just have all the other moving parts, because quarterback ain't a position you ever got to worry about anymore with Dallas as long as Dak is at the helm.
Not anytime soon. I don't believe that'll be the thing. And you could tell because they have no intentions of getting no backup or anything like that. They feel solid in where they are. So shout out to them. But yeah, check us out over there, guys, when you get a chance. And big game, one thing we didn't mention, I just want to shout it out.
Yeah.
Shout out to CD Lamb, man, and the swag, man. It goes back to what I told you before. Dogs, man. These guys want you to know, we didn't just show up, we beat you. And we're going to send you off with a nice little wave, man. I haven't seen anything like that in a long time. But as a fan, it gets you juiced up. You're going into the bye week. You get to sit there and simmer in that for 2 weeks. Let's go get another one against Minnesota when it's time.
Well, yeah, just how you said that, man. The swag is back. I mean, I remember back in the day when the Cowboys, they didn't taunt you, but why? Well, you know why there was a star on the helmet? Because they were stars. They had nothing but stars. They had stars in the 70s. They had stars in the 80s. They had stars in the 90s. Stars. That's the star on the helmet. So there's a certain type of attitude it brings, and Dallas has missed that attitude in a very long time. So yeah, I feel you. When you scored a touchdown, and guess what, Jalen Mills, you didn't have to push him. Guess what?
No, not at all.
He didn't look at you. Yeah, he slowed up a little bit, but Wouldn't you? If you were Jalen Mills, if you had caught the touchdown, yeah, you would have been running in the end zone. If you would have got the interception and ran it back for a touchdown, you would have been running to
Right.
the whole other side of the field with your arms out like you did something. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So don't
Yeah.
get mad. But guess what? You push CD. I love that attitude. He pushed me. He said, bye bye. See you later. We done
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
our thing with you. You feel me? We'll see you. I think I seen a picture. I don't know if you seen the meme or the with Randy Gregory where he had Bill Belichick with his little
Oh
binoculars
yeah,
looking
with the
at.
binoculars.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought
yeah,
so.
I love it. Like I love you trolling these dudes. Like, yeah, we slayed the dragon dog, and we're gonna talk this trash to you. And you
Yeah.
know, I like it. I want this attitude. I want this moxie because the Cowboys had it before, and when they had it before, they were winning championships. They were winning Super Bowls when they had attitude. They, you knew back in the day when they walked on your field, you're gonna better play your a game, or you're gonna get destroyed by these Cowboys, and they're gonna tell you about it after they destroy you. We've always known that, and I don't mind the swag coming back. So with that being
Yeah.
said, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great, and let's just keep on. How about them Cowboys, y'all? Man, it just feels good right now, Billy. It just feels real good.
Yeah.
It feels good, dog. I can't front, man. It feels good because I feel like this is a legit team now. It ain't feeling good because Dallas is 5-1. Because we've seen Cowboys teams, we've seen teams have a 5-1 team. You're like, this team really might not be that good. They just won, beat some teams ain't that good. This team is good.
Yeah. And they're
This
proving it
Cowboys
week in
team,
and week
Billy,
out.
is good.
Yeah.
Yes, this team is legit. This is a legit Dallas Cowboys squad.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
There's that it is, and I can sign up for it, man. No more of that who's pretenders and contenders. The Cowboys have solidified themselves on the C side. We are contenders. And as long as they continue to keep that mindset and grind and stay hungry, man, we got some good things. We can look forward to some good football when it gets cold outside, guys.
Good football, and it's been a long time since we really. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys. It's been 2 years since they made the playoffs. 3 of the last 4 years they haven't made the playoffs. So it's not like the Cowboys have been eating them playoffs the last few years. There's
Yeah.
been a tiny little drought. So it's time for the Cowboys to get back in there and show where their rightful place is because we are always known to be playoff bound team. So when the Cowboys are not making the playoffs, it feels different. It feels weird. It doesn't feel right because the Cowboys are used to winning and being on top. And this is the time to come back and be back on top because you have everything in place. I talked about it time and time and again, year after year after year. Finish the fight. Yeah, it ain't about finish the fight. It's about having that discipline on the field, having that camaraderie in that locker room, and having that oneness mind and that straightforward goal. And I feel like this team has finally got some parts to really put it together. I never felt like Jason Garrett was the guy to take us to the promised land. I didn't know of Mike McCarthy, but I knew it felt better with him because he's been there and done that.
Yeah.
And you've had a top, you've been there. You've had a top quarterback. You've had top teams. You've had top defenses. You've been in the playoffs year in and year out. This is what the Cowboys needed to get back in their blood, in their system, in their veins. They need to be around that type of coach and that type of atmosphere and that type of mindset so they can understand what it's really like. It ain't just these regular season, it's these playoffs. That's what these Cowboys used to. And I'm not trying to jump forward, but I just feel like this is a team should definitely win this division, and this is a team should definitely make some noise. I feel good about the Cowboys making noise. They make the playoffs this year, Billy. I feel good about the Cowboys actually making noise in these playoffs this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree, man. I would agree that it's all there for them. It's all in front of them. What are you going to do with it, guys? Let's bring the coaching together, bring the player personnel together. The leadership is there. We got everything we need to go get it, man. We got everything we need. Let's just go do it.
All right, man. Well, hey, we're gonna get up out of here. I appreciate my dog Billy the Kid. Make sure you check him out on Best for Business. Make sure you check him out on his Twitter handle, like he told you. We talk a lot about a lot of good things, and they talk good Mavericks football, Mavericks basketball over there. Jason Kidd is the new coach. There's a new things on the horizon. So if you're a Mavericks fan, definitely jump over there and listen to their
Yeah.
channel because they talk about a lot of things. They got a lot of good plugs and insights that y'all a lot don't be knowing that they got with these Mavericks. So if you're a Mavericks fan, make sure you get on over there and listen to what they got to say with that because they're doing a lot of good things over there. So I appreciate you, big
Appreciate
dog. We're gonna ride out to my son. How about them Cowboys? It ain't gonna never get old to me. It was just his birthday.
that.
It was just my birthday. I don't care. I'm gonna play it till the freaking wheels fall off.
That's
But it is
it.
how about them Cowboys? So how about them Cowboys? Let's get this six. I know it's early, but keep that focus. All right. So for Big Game James, Billy the Kid, we'll talk to you soon. We out. How about them Cowboys from Kid Columbus? Peace.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
How about them Cowboys? Click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Big game, first name James. He interviewed, he called the games. Silver blue, you know the name. From the Emmitt Smith to the Michael Irv. We beating skins, shooting birds. I see a Bengal snatch it out his fur. Favorite team on the planet Earth. From Monday night to Sunday church. DJ putting in the work. I'm tuning in, no need to search. Through thick and thin and good and worse. Them Cowboys, click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that silver and blue done did it again. Them Cowboys, click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning